By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what progesterone does to your body, why the second half of your cycle feels so different, and the one thing almost no doctor tells you about it. This is the hormone that gets blamed for everything and credited for nothing. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's change that. Progesterone lives in the shadow of estrogen. Every month, the conversation is the same. Estrogen this, estrogen that. Rise and fall, glow and energy. Nobody talks about progesterone, but here's what you need to understand. During the second half of your cycle, roughly days 14 through 28 in a textbook 28-day cycle, progesterone becomes the dominant player, and it touches almost everything. Here's how it works. Every month, your brain releases a surge of luteinizing hormone, that's LH, that triggers ovulation. The empty follicle where your egg was released becomes something called the corpus luteum. That's Latin for yellow body. And this tiny structure, about the size of a grape, starts pumping out progesterone. Doesn't get more credit than that. Progesterone's first job is preparation. It tells your uterine lining to thicken, to grow blood vessels, to get ready for a potential pregnancy. That's why it was named progestational. Progestation. But here's what most people don't know. That same progesterone crosses the blood-brain barrier. It metabolizes into a compound called allopregnanolone. And allopregnanolone binds directly to GABA receptors in your brain. GABA is your brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. It's the same receptor that anti-anxiety medications like Xanax target. This is the part where things get real. When progesterone peaks around day 21 of your cycle, allopregnanolone levels peak with it. A 2014 study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology tested women's brain activity throughout their cycles. Researchers found that during the high progesterone luteal phase, women showed increased activity in brain regions associated with emotional processing. In plain English, your brain is literally more sensitive to emotional stimuli during this window. That's not in your head. That's chemistry. Now, here's point one. And this is the easy win. Understanding progesterone means understanding why you feel like a different person on day 5 versus day 23. Day 1 through roughly day 13 is the follicular phase. Estrogen rises steadily. Progesterone stays low. You likely feel more energetic, more optimistic, more social. Then ovulation hits. Progesterone begins its climb. And somewhere between day 18 and day 28, many women experience what researchers call negative affect. That's a clinical term for feeling tense, irritable, sad, or just off. A large review in archives of women's mental health found that up to 80% of women experience at least mild premenstrual symptoms. About 20 to 30% meet criteria for premenstrual syndrome, or PMS. And 3 to 8% have something more severe called premenstrual dysphoric disorder, or PMDD. 3 to 8% sounds small. That's roughly 10 million women in the United States alone. And almost all of them have no idea it's connected to progesterone. Let that sit for a second. Almost no one tells them. If you're finding this helpful, if this is clicking for you, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week. And the next piece is the one that actually changes how you think about your own body. So stick around. I promise it's worth it. Okay, so that's the first one. You feel different in the second half of your cycle because progesterone is literally changing how your brain processes emotion and stress. But here's where it gets more interesting. That same progesterone surge has a direct impact on sleep. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that women in the luteal phase reported significantly more sleep disturbances. More trouble falling asleep, more waking during the night, more vivid dreams. The mechanism is the same allopregnanolone pathway. That calming effect, it works great at first. Progesterone helps you wind down, but as levels fluctuate throughout the day and drop sharply in the final days before your period, that calming effect withdraws. You feel more alert, more anxious, more likely to wake up at 3 a.m. with your mind racing. And most women just think something's wrong with them. There's something else. Progesterone and anxiety are tightly linked. In the luteal phase, some women experience what's called situational anxiety. You know the feeling? Everything is fine. Nothing bad is happening, but your nervous system is just slightly on edge. A 2011 study from the University of Pennsylvania showed that women with high progesterone states had heightened amygdala reactivity. The amygdala is the part of your brain that processes fear and threat. More progesterone means your amygdala is more responsive. Your threat detection system gets a little more sensitive, and the world looks a little more dangerous than it did 2 weeks ago. That's not weakness. That's biology. Now, here's the part I've been building toward. The thing most doctors don't talk about. Progesterone and cortisol have a seesaw relationship. When one goes up, the other goes down. Progesterone is a precursor to cortisol. Your body can convert progesterone into cortisol when it needs to. And during the luteal phase, as progesterone rises, your body has more raw material for cortisol production. Here's what that means in practice. When progesterone peaks around day 21, your body is in a state of metabolic readiness. It's prepared for pregnancy. It's prepared for stress. But if you're not pregnant, if there's no implantation, progesterone drops like a rock around day 24 through 28. And when it drops, that cortisol conversion pathway opens up. Your baseline cortisol goes up. Your stress response becomes exaggerated. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism tracked women's cortisol levels across their menstrual cycles. They found significantly higher cortisol awakening responses during the late luteal phase, meaning those women woke up already amped up and anxious before their feet hit the floor. Sound familiar? This is the piece that changes things. You are not broken. You are not failing at life. Your hormonal environment is creating a physiological state that makes calm harder to access. And knowing that, actually understanding it, means you can work with your cycle instead of fighting it. On days 14 through 28, your body is operating under different rules. Your stress tolerance is lower. Your sleep architecture is different. Your emotional processing is more intense. That's not a bug. That's progesterone doing exactly what it evolved to do. So here's the recap. 3 things. First, progesterone peaks in the second half of your cycle and directly affects how your brain processes emotion, stress, and sleep. Second, up to 80% of women experience premenstrual symptoms and 3 to 8% have PMDD, yet almost no one connects these symptoms to progesterone. And third, the progesterone-cortisol relationship means your body is literally more reactive to stress during your luteal phase. That's not small. That is a fundamental shift in how your nervous system operates for 2 weeks every month. And knowing that is the difference between thinking something is wrong with you and understanding what's actually happening. If this video helped you see your cycle differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Hit subscribe if you want more videos like this. Breaking down the science your body actually runs on. I've got something even better coming next week. See you then.